She made me want to go to Houston. She literally made me a believer in slow burn. Like, Alexandria, girl, put me on your art team. Like, this girl knows how to write the hell out of a male main character. Like, sometimes you gotta pop out and show. Listen, ever since the Super Bowl, I've been in my Kendrick bag. But anyway, sometimes you gotta pop out and do a book review because you can't wait until your monthly wrap up. And this is one of those videos where I cannot wait to tell y'all how I so much love this book that I am going to tell y'all about. So stick around for all the tea. Well, not all the tea, because it's gonna be spoiler free. Hey y'all, what's up, and welcome back to another video. For those who don't know, my name is Angie. I'm primarily a romance and suspense reader, but every now and then we tap into lit fic, contemporary fiction, and historical fiction. But y'all, oh my gosh, I just finished this book, Loved by You, by Alexandrea LeChelle. It's her debut novel, y'all. And when I tell y'all, this girl killed it. She killed it. So before I tell my thoughts on it and all the things, I want to share like a synopsis of what the book is about. So it follows Vanessa. I think her last name is Taylor, but they pretty much call her Nessa throughout the book or whatever. And Vanessa, she's basically trying to piece her life back together because something happened in college. I want to say it was like 6 years ago, that a traumatic event that pretty much changed the trajectory of her life for the most part. Like feelings and just like, you know, the things that we face in life kind of make up who we become as fully grown adults. And she went through this traumatic experience, so she's trying to piece back the pieces. She's trying to put the puzzle back together. And so her ex, Xavier, ends up entering the picture while she's, you know, thinking that she's healing and all the things. And they had a big falling out in college. Xavier, he's in like development and he is living out his dreams. But as the book puts it, he's missing something in his life. And that thing that he's missing is Vanessa, because they're like soulmates. They're meant to be together. And he sees her in Houston because he's doing a development project in Houston. He's from New Orleans. And she went to college. They all went to college in New Orleans. And he ends up seeing her in Houston, and the story kind of unravels from there. And Vanessa's like, listen, you hurt me once, you're not gonna hurt me again. Like, we're not gonna keep going through this. Like, no, her guard is all the way up. And I mean, baby, she's like, no, I can't do it. Like, there's too much trauma there. I don't want to hurt my heart. Like, I'm healing, but is she really healing? But anyway, Xavier's like, I don't give a crap. Like, I'm going to show you that I am not the man I was, or the boy that I was in college. I'm a new man. I love you. I get this second chance with you, this new opportunity with you. I am not going to blow it. Boy, am I glad. That man, Xavier, whew, you want to talk about emotionally intelligent, you want to talk about somebody that's present, you want to talk about somebody that is supportive. Like, he is literally book boyfriend material. Like, he did what he needed to do. And the author, she kind of reminds me of Asia Monique a little bit, because Asia Monique knows how to write the hell out of a male main character, okay? And it was giving me that vibe. Like, this girl knows how to write the hell out of a male main character. Like, she knows what a man is supposed to be. And Xavier was that. So anyway, that's the synopsis pretty much of the book. They're college sweethearts that end up breaking up. I'm not going to share why they broke up or anything like that. And then I want to say 6 years later, they pick back up and see each other in her hometown. And they kind of just, listen, I'm pulling, I'm tugging, I'm trying to get you to know I'm here. The tropes are slow burn. So I am not a slow burn person, but this slow burn was done so well. It had the right amount of tension to it. It had the right amount of slow burn to it. It wasn't like so slow burny to the point where you're like, come on now, let's wrap this up, because you know some romances, they be dragging the hell out of some romances, and I can tell y'all that because I'm a romance girly, and that's all pretty much all I read. Like 90% of my books are romances, and sometimes they drag the mess out of it, but she did it so well to the point where she literally made me a believer in slow burn. Like, I'm looking for slow burns now because this is what I'm expecting from a slow burn. It's also a second chance romance, which y'all know that is my favorite trope because that's pretty much my story, sort of. Second chance romance, like, oh, gosh, you could just feel that they were meant to be, like, and everybody around them knew it because it gave found family too, right? So everybody, her best friend Kelly, her mom, her parents, like, they all knew that you're unhappy right now because you missed this is your person, and you both are unhappy right now. Even his best friend, I think his name was Khalil, they knew that they needed each other. The people around them knew that they needed each other, and I ate it up. Aside from this book being like a really good romance, it definitely had some deeper things to it, from gentrification, because Xavier and his partner Khalil, they're best friends. They grew up together in New Orleans, and they kind of do developments in impoverished areas, I guess, and just kind of redevelop and make it what it needs to be for the community. And he ends up getting a job in Houston, or a I don't even know what to call it. I don't know the right terminology for these things. But anyway, him and his partner end up striking a deal in Houston, but it's with a company that is kind of wants to turn the development into a housing for rich people. You know, gentrification, like, get all of the hood people out and let's make something new. And the crazy part about it is, where Vanessa does art, I think it's like in the same district, I want to say, as he is doing his new development. And so Xavier is kind of like, this is not what we signed up for. This is not, I don't want to get into it for a bag. Like, I don't want to turn into like rich people housing. I want to do stuff that's giving back to the community. And so he's kind of struggling with that. And I'm not going to share what ends up happening with that, but it does touch on gentrification in a way that I have not seen done in books. I haven't even read about that really much in books. And I love how the author is clearly from Houston. And I will say, the book was so Houston. I've never been to Houston. This girl literally made me want to go to Houston. Like, tell my husband, let's book a ticket, let's go to Houston, because I want to say about 50% into the book, I was seeing restaurant names. I think it was like Chopsticks or something. I forget what restaurant it was that made me want to Google it, because I'm like, is she making these names up, or is it real? Like, so I Googled the restaurant. Lo and behold, the restaurant is a real restaurant in Houston, and the restaurant had really good ratings. So every time she would bring up a restaurant or a place like Emancipation Park, and there was a bunch of other restaurants, like a taco place, I would Google it. Now, mind you, it usually takes me on a busy day or so. It usually takes me about 2 days to read a book. It took me, especially a book that I love like this. Sometimes I could do it in one, but that's not the point. It took me 4 days to read this book, and the reason why it took me 4 days is because I had to Google every restaurant and place that I saw. Then I had to go look at the menu. Then I had to look at the reviews of the menu and it was just like, it was taking me too long, because she made me want to go to Houston. And I love when authors can like put their, I think she's from Houston from what I read on her about section, and she did her city well. Like, she did her city so well. When I tell y'all I am ready to go to Houston, Texas, I'm ready to go to Houston, Texas, and I'm hitting up all them restaurants she had in the book. I almost wish, it is one of those books that I would read again, but I almost wish that I was writing those restaurants down. But like I said, I'm going to read it again, so it don't even matter. But yeah, the book made me just feel so good, so giddy, so excited, just so like, it was a true love story. But back to the deeper themes. We're talking about the deeper themes that's in the book. It also touched on therapy. So both characters, the female main character and the male main character, which is not something you see often, you usually see one or the other. Both of them were in therapy, and I love to see Black people in therapy because in our community we're told that it's kind of weak to go to therapy. You don't need therapy. Like, these things, God put these things here for a reason, and it's for us to utilize, right? He's not just going to come out of the sky. Like, he sends people to do his will. And so I feel like sometimes therapists, like, we need to understand, like, therapists, especially in the Black community, therapy is not a bad thing. We all can benefit. I don't care how great your life is. There's something that's messing you up, and we can all benefit from therapy. So I love that they touched on therapy. They also, this one really got me. Misunderstandings and family expectations. Her mom, Vanessa's mom, I forget her name. I think it was Vivian or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, she was very tough on Vanessa. And they end up going to therapy to come to some kind of resolution for why they are the way that they are, why she is the way that she is. And when I tell y'all, because I'm going through something personal in my personal life, not with my mom, but with somebody else in my family member, I would love to sit down and do that and just have a kumbaya moment. But obviously it does take two self-aware people. Like, you have to love the person and all the things. But I loved that when they came to that moment of understanding, and it did my soul good. It really, really did my soul good. But the book, just amazing. In addition to how the book made me feel, it was written so beautifully. I am a past and present girly. Like, I love to see the past. It's not necessarily a preference, but when it's in a book, I love to see it, and I love to see when it's well done. And this author, she told past stories from their college that led up kind of to the moment that they're in now. So you got to see the background of their college days and what happened, what transpired. And I love how she didn't wait till like 80% to tell us what the hell happened to them in college. Like, I love that part, because sometimes I'm like, just tell us. Like, we're still gonna finish the book because we want to know what happens. Like, just tell us. Why you waiting until 80% to tell me that? But I love how she kind of said it, not in the beginning, but it was less than 50% before I found out what transpired with them. But I love how she did the past and tied it into the present with each new section in the book. So that, chef's kiss for that one. I wanted to share my favorite quote. I had a couple favorite quotes from this book, and I wanted to share a few and highlight them. The first one was, "Whatever's missing, it'll find you soon." So this was told to Xavier when he was talking to an older man about something missing in his life. And this is so true. Like, sometimes we're trying to force things, and what is meant for us is going to find us. And that's what this book is pretty much is about. Like, they were meant to be, they were going to find their way back to each other. So that's one of my favorite quotes. And then also, "When you're young, you think you got it all figured out, but then life starts and you realize you don't know shit." And this, if y'all knew my story, y'all would understand that this is so true, because I got married when I was 18. I thought I had everything figured out, and me and my husband, we're still married to this day. And we ain't know nothing. We ain't have a clue. We ain't had two nickels to rub together. Like, we just did not have a clue. You think you're grown, you think you know it all, and you just really don't know. And that's why it's important to have somebody that you respect guiding you and all the things. So those are two quotes that I wanted to share with her. Listen, Alexandria, girl, put me on your art team for real, because I cannot wait. I feel like this is going to turn into a little series, because it was definitely some found family. I love the friendship group in this book. Kelly was a real one. Khalil was a real one, because they were like emotionally intelligent friends. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait for their story. I do not read the snippets. So she did have a snippet of their story, if I'm not mistaken, in the back of the book. But I don't read those, because then I get mad because I want to finish it. So I never even start those. I just skip them. But I cannot wait for Kelly and Khalil's story. And then it was Wesley and Lynn, I think, and then Naya and hers. Like, I am invested in this series, and I cannot wait. I don't know what the series is going to be called, but I hope she finishes out all these couples, and I hope to see a little bit more of Xavier and Vanessa in the next book, just a little bit, because I have a feeling Kelly and Khalil's story is going to be so lit. But yeah, If y'all did not read Love by You by Alexandria LeChelle, please go pick it up. Go support her, because this debut novel was so good. Like, it seemed like she has been doing this for years. So yes, that's my review. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Have a blessed day.